Inside the studio, everybody, it's time to TinChat. Alongside the radio play-by-play voice of the Fort Wayne TinCaps, as always, Mike Maahs. I am Justin Prince, and Mike, picking things up from a week ago today, really, I guess it's been a few hours since then, but about a week later, things haven't really changed much here to start the second half for the Fort Wayne TinCaps. They finished the first half on a positive note with a W on Thursday night against the Loons with a 3-0 win, and then they proceeded to drop their next two, go 1-5 for their seniors with Great Lakes, and now they've gone 1-2 here to start things on the road at West Michigan.
Yeah, and a couple of tough losses the last two nights. 14-4 on Wednesday night, and then last night you get 3 runs in the top of the first inning, and you think things might change, but West Michigan scores 4 runs in the bottom of the first, and they go on to win last night by a score of 8-4. And I guess the term that I was asked about this 2 days ago, how can I best describe the 2022 TinCaps? And my answer is Jekyll and Hyde.
I was going to say the same exact thing.
Because we have seen flashes of brilliance, and we have seen flashes of frustration, the latter more than the former.
Yeah.
But there still is this talent, and that magical word talent, all these guys trying to make their way, in their minds, hopefully towards Petco Park. And they have some good games, and then they have some not so good games.
And that's all part of minor league baseball, and we understand that. But like you said, it's still frustrating to watch, still frustrating to see. And part of the frustration, I think, is that they've been very inconsistent across the board at times. Obviously, we've seen the offense be that way throughout points this season. The pitching has been one of the stronger parts of this team. But here lately, over the last week or so, the pitching's been the frustrating part, and the offense has been the better part. They haven't scored less than 3 runs here, and I know it's obviously only 6 games, but they haven't scored less than 3 runs yet here to start this second half, Mike.
Yeah, and guys that were relatively solid in the first half, and I'm talking about like Noel Vela last night, given a 3-run lead before he throws his first pitch, and he's had a couple of tough outings. 2 nights ago, Jackson Wolf retired the first 4 batters he faced, then he walked 4 hitters in a row, struck out a batter, and then he was lifted from the ball game. And ironically, all 4 of the batters that he walked came around to score for West Michigan.
That was a game that got out of hand fast for him too.
Yeah, really fast. And next thing you know, it's 14-4 when the final out is made. And then last night you're up 3-0 and you lose 8-4. And I don't know if it's the long season. I don't know if it's the fact that for all practical purposes, the starting pitching is almost like a college team. You're pitching once a week, basically. Or in some cases, with the 5-man rotation, whoever starts on Tuesday will come back on Sunday. And I don't know if it's just a lack of focus. I don't know if the arms are a little tired and we don't know about it. If the mind is just fuzzy, or maybe staying with the mind, TinCaps have lost 44 games already this year. And if you're not accustomed to losing, when you do fall short, then the mind starts playing games with you as what am I doing wrong? Or maybe you're putting all the blame on yourself and you don't remember that this is a team game.
Yeah.
There are 9 players on the field at one time, and there are many more in the dugout. And everyone has to contribute one way or another. And so hopefully, whatever the blahs or whatever you want to call it that have taken place can finally go away.
Yeah.
There's still hope.
Yeah, I mean, good news is, Mike, we're a week into the second half. It's only a week into the second half. We're only 6 games in, 7 games in, counting tonight's game. But we're only 7 games into the second half. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, obviously. So, you know, we can look at things from both sides of it. Obviously, we can be pessimistic about some things because it's frustrating. Like you said, it's very frustrating to watch sometimes. But there have been some good things, especially here to start the second half. The TinCaps have had 2 guys called up here to start the second half, Max Ferguson, Cole Cummings, both of them coming up, making an impact. At least Ferguson did in his first couple of games. Kind of cooled off a little bit here lately, but Cole Cummings has been hot since he got called up, hitting .545 and hit his first homer last night.
Yeah, 6 hits and 11 ABs and 4 singles, a double, the home run, 4 ribbies. And he's hitting in the 4 spot. and he's moved Brandon Valenzuela down a spot. Jared Dell has gone down to the 5 spot. And with Max Thompson coming to the team, he's now in the leadoff spot, and Corey Rozier is down to either the 5 or the 6 spot, which is not a bad place to be for a guy who's been hitting leadoff most of the year. It gives you some other options. And
I was going to say, if anything, it gives you some speed down the lineup, too, with Hassel and Rozier getting to move them around the lineup a little bit, get some speed kind of spread out throughout the lineup. That definitely helps things a little bit, too.
But the bottom line is, no matter who is in the lineup and where they're at in the lineup, they've got to produce. And hopefully, in this particular week's case, take advantage of the fresh firepower, is what I'm going to call it. And I like what I've seen so far from Cummings, because he just seems level-headed at the plate. He's a tall left-handed batter who makes contact. And that home run he hit last night went a long way. And one of the probably the toughest park to hit a home run in the 12-team Midwest League. So, you know, we talk about some of the negatives, but you see some of the positives. And lest we forget, Robert Hassel III is still in the top 10 in several offensive categories.
Yeah,
Corey Rozier still leads the league in runs scored and in the top 10 in about 3 or 4 other offensive categories. So Brandon Valenzuela still leads the league in throwing out the most potential base stealers with 17. So there are some positives. It's just the matter of how do you put everything together to work on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and obviously, like I said, a lot of good news is that there's still a lot of baseball left to be played here throughout the rest of the second half, and obviously it starts really tonight. You know, when we're recording this right now, but it starts tonight. 3 games left up in West Michigan, and then they come back for a rare Monday game, the only Monday game we're going to have this year. From what I saw from John Nolan, it's already almost sold out, their 4th of July game. So if you don't have tickets, make sure you go get tickets to go check that game out. It's going to be a fun one on Monday, and then obviously Tuesday off. But we welcome the Lake County Captains to town for 6 games here starting next week.
Lake County finished in 3rd place in the 6-team Eastern Division the first half, and they are in 3rd place overall for the season. And I mentioned to you before we started taping, Lake County has the best road record of any of the 12 teams in the Midwest League coming into play tonight at 24-15.
And we already saw them just a couple weeks ago. Obviously, TinCaps took 2 of those 6 against them here in early June when they were, you know, still hitting a little bit of their struggles. But we got a 12-game homestand coming up.
Second 12-game homestand of the season, and this is the time. These are the next 2 weeks, the next 2 series, where the TinCaps, if they really want to be contenders and not pretenders, are going to have to win some ball games.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, obviously, 12-game homestand here. You get, you know, one of the better teams that's been on the road here in the league, in Lake County coming to town, and then a Lansing team that they've already taken. You know, we'll talk about this again next week, but a Lansing team they just took 5 of 6 from pretty recently. So a team you know that they can win against. So these are some games that they can hopefully pick up some ground soon. But for now, though, Mike and I are back same time, same place next week. That's going to do it for this edition of TinChattin. He is Mike Maahs. I am Justin Prince. We're going to be right back after this.